Greetings, YouTubians. How's it going? Ah ha ha. Okay, I'll get the squeak. Okay. Let's see. Two things. I'll go to the LA riots next. I found out something interesting about my Mossberg Maverick 88 when I was trying to compare screws to install the stock on my other shotgun. Apparently, okay, Mossberg Maverick 88. Anyhow, I found out something about the stock when you install it. And anybody installing new stocks on shotguns, be careful. Be careful. Because, number one, see, because Mark always finds a way. Hold. Mouse? Mouse! Okay. I found out that when you tighten it, like from back here, you know, there's a screw that goes in here. Do not tighten it extremely tight. Just tighten it snug where you know the stock will stay on there securely. Because if you don't, you'll cause trigger. Whoa! You'll cause trigger hesitation. You know, because you go like this. 1000. Oh. And then snap cap I made. See? And there you go. But the thing is, it's like, if you tighten the stock on too tight, extremely tight, it'll cause a trigger delay. And, because instead of getting this, you'll get this. Like that, instead of this. Because you want to send rounds down range real fast. And if a home invasion situation happens and you get that hesitation in the trigger, you're dead. And, the thing is, one thing I do love is when things work properly. Because I love it when a plan comes together. Okay. Anyhow, that problem, I fixed it because I figured it out. Because that's what I do. I figure shit out. Because if something doesn't work right, you take it apart and you put it back together and find out, okay, what's the problem? So now I know exactly what not to do. And I tested both of my shotguns, and basically, as I said, when you screw the thing in, the pin in here to connect to the stock right here, you got to make sure it's not extremely tight because it'll cause trigger delay. Like I said, let me show you again. Okay, right now, this is what you want. And you don't want this. Okay, watch. Oh my God. Like that. You don't want trigger hesitation. That is bad. Because you need something to work extremely perfect. And by the way, this is a 12-gauge shotgun. Mossberg Maverick 88 security model. I have two shotguns. Okay. Anyhow, to the LA riots. They're sending in the institute that I know. Okay, fine, Marines. They're sending the Marines in there, and, okay, the Marines are not going into unfamiliar territory. They're not. Because that type of riot and protest is no different than being in Iraq, Kandahar, Qatar, Afghanistan. Well, those places are hostile, yes, but these places up here in Los Angeles are pretty much hostile, but semi-controllable. Semi-controllable, but the Marines got it. National Guards got it. But they need to arrest Gruesome Newsom. They really do. Mouse? Okay, fine. I don't want to scare nobody's wife, but Mouse? Mouse! Think about the riots for a second, because not very far from San Diego where I live, and I hope to God it does not spread because, number one, I'm not going to hesitate to pull the trigger on one of these. I will not hesitate. But the thing is just that everything has gotten so out of control, and, half of these protesters or whatever they think they are, They don't know what they're fighting for. They don't know what cause they're fighting for. And if they're criminals, they don't have a cause to fight for. They have a cause to be dead or deported or sent back to wherever the hell they came from. That's the way I see it. So criminals can protest all they want, but at the end of the day, bottom line, you are a criminal. You are a criminal. And I hope to God it does not spread to San Diego, because we already had enough of that bullshit. We had protests down here, downtown San Diego. I mean, damn, dude. I mean, it is ridiculous. And before you know it, riots like that spread, and then they just keep spreading. And people, and then stupid people get involved, and they don't even know why they're getting involved. They just like, oh, maybe it might be a good opportunity for me to get some free shit. Yeah, maybe. Just like a couple of years ago, back in 2020, I had to cut loose a friend. Because, when COVID started and when they burned down the banks here in La Mesa, I noticed one of the friends that I used to work with at my job. And he was involved in that. And I saw him as I drove by, and I just shook my head. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not going to mention him by name, but his parents live in another country. And you know something? They would be very ashamed to see that their son was involved in basically that, and possibly busting into a Walmart, breaking glass and stuff, and creating, a lot of commotion. So I don't know what to say. I can't be friends with people like that. I just looked at him, shook my head, and erased him off my Facebook page, erased his number. There's nothing. There is nothing that I could actually say to a person that would actually make any sense. So, that being said, these riots up in LA need to stop. They need to arrest Gruesome Newsom with no ball twosome. They need to arrest his ass. He's about as dirty as a wet dog hanging over a damn laundry basket or something. Or that's how they say it. But, I just hope the riots don't spread down here, because, honestly, I don't feel like getting nuts. And, like I said, just back in 2020, I came close to letting off with this. Very close. Extremely close, where, yep, that's right. Oh, shit. Discharging a firearm is not something I wish to do. Believe me. But the thing is, I won't hesitate to protect my borders or protect myself and my loved ones. I can tell you right now, I will not hesitate. But just remember, people, a peaceful protest, okay, fine. Mouse! A peaceful protest, okay. But then when a protest turns to smashing, grabbing, burning, and hurting people and killing people, that's when you don't got my attention. You do not have my attention. You have my disgust. Just like, for instance, The Punisher. I love The Punisher. I respect The Punisher. I know it's a character. He's all cool unless he breaks the one major rule. If innocent people get hurt, say like a child, then that's when my respect for him goes out the window. Stay out of my face, Frank Castle, whatever the fuck your name is. Stay out of my face, Frank Castle. You're blinded by revenge that a kid got hurt. So get away from me. And that's how that goes. So just remember, people, a riot is not worth it. And it's not worth risking your life over. Because now those Marines have to go up there and deal with that crap. As much as I would hate to see that, wish I could join and help. But the thing is, it makes no sense for them to have to even go up there and deal with that. The police, like they say, those police are a bunch of cowards. And, basically, this state is being overrun by idiots. And Newsom is at the top of the list as being the head idiot of the state. And he should be tried as a criminal of the state. I mean, he's as corrupt as dirty water. So anyhow, take care.